Hello students. Today our topic of discussion is going to be on mercantile process model, and herewith I like to give you a complete glimpse of what is this actually involved in terms of that we call it as a mercantile process model. And when we say that it's a kind of transaction that is going to happen between the merchant as well as the consumer, the entire supply chain is involved into this. Because of the supply chain only, the merchants are able to get the products and in turn they are able to sell it to us. So this has got a process model, and we are going to completely learn about what is this actual set of steps involved into that, how things are happening in the e-commerce environment or in any kind of business environment too. So when we look out into the mercantile process model, the process involved defines interaction models between consumers and merchants for online commerce. So there is a kind of model which is involved into this, and it is a kind of interaction model. It's not something like one person is going to deal with and another one is not going to have any kind of relation with it. Because of the kind of demand that is existing for each and every product only, there is a set of products which are going to come in the market, and that particular set of products, because of the interaction between the consumer and the merchants only, it's made possible for that e-commerce link or chain to get established, and the product is going to come into the hands of the customers. So mercantile process model is defined in such a way. And when we are going to do a business in a common way over the internet highway, that is information super highway, we will be going for thinking out into how to go for enhancing the business. Because as soon as any kind of business, if it's going to emerge, we know very well, like all these entrepreneurs used to start it up in a very small manner. The complete set of people whom we know very well, like this Amazon and all this kind of people and all, how did they make us started? Amazon initially it was a complete different company. They are not into this e-commerce kind of sales of products and all. Okay, so they might have started it very much in a smaller way, and they were just always thinking about progressing towards a higher level. That is what the reason that they are that is what the main reason that they are into the kind of stage right now, and they are put upon all quality practices into their growth plan. So this should be focused completely towards that growth. And when you are going for establishing a common mercantile process, it is expected to increase convenience for consumers. So ultimately, uh, when a product is going to be sold out into the market or into the consumer, to the customer, always we have to think like we are in the demanding end. Demanding end means some way or the other our product have to be sold out. Otherwise, there is no chance of increasing our business. And as we go for selling more number of products only, we can expect more number of growth as well as in terms of profit also. So when the product is not going to move at all, means obviously we are going to just keep the same set of products only, and we are not going to earn anything out of it. Even the earning is going to come also, it is not going to help us for our budget or for our daily expenses or whatever the kind of investment that we have put upon, because we need to get the returns in hand. We have to see the returns in hand along with the profit what you are going to earn out of the product. So all these things are going to be made possible only by ensuring that we are always in the demanding side and the consumers are always in the commanding end. Commanding end in the sense like consumers are the god. You know very well, like what is the kind of satisfaction that a consumer has to get whenever he is going to come into the purchase, and the kind of quality that we are going to maintain onto those products. And it is all it matters end of the day is their hard earned money what they're going to invest onto us. So obviously we need to just look out into the convenience of the customers as well as the total satisfaction of the customers. So why I'm talking about convenience over here means, remember that we are gone into the electronic media. It is not like the earlier way, like how does the ancient trend and all, how does the business was happening? I will give you some money, you give me the product. We are going to deal face to face kind of thing. But here it is not the case. It is all going to happen in terms of electronic media. So consumer should have the kind of trust onto the technology first and foremost. The product what they are ordered is going to come to them, as well as the kind of money that they are going to pay for getting the product in hand definitely is going to go to the right place without having any kind of loss of money in between, or the disappearance of money in between. So we need to look out into, we have to give the kind of satisfaction to the consumers or trust to the consumers. Okay, so that is what we can see it in terms of the introduction of mercantile process model. And when we are looking out into this particular process model, there are certain set of steps involved into that, called pre-purchase, purchase consummation, and post-purchase interaction. So why we are dealing up with this kind of ideas or with this kind of points means we need to think upon from the consumer end. Okay, before going for doing a purchase, how is them, what sort of research they are going to make in order to purchase what sort of product, because there is a huge amount of products which are existing over the online platform. And out of that huge amount of products that are existing over there, they should have been given with the kind of search which exactly makes them to go to the kind of product what they are looking out for. And they need to go for conducting a thorough study and analysis onto that. So you know very well, like even now when we are going for doing any kind of purchase also, we used to do the kind of a thorough analysis. We used to go for looking at the star rating. We need to go for getting out customers feedback who had already purchased the product. And we need to look out into the comparison chart over the rate what is being fixed for each and every product. We used to go between different online platforms and check what is this the rate or not. We used to look out into the brand. We used to look out into the expiry date. We used to look out into the components or the kind of facilities what we are going to get as a result of purchasing of the product. So these and all we call it as a pre-purchase. And when we are telling about a purchase consummation, it is something called the kind of information that is going to flow, and the set of documents which are associated with the purchase, and the report which are going to generate after the purchase. So we need to look out into that also, as well as the post-purchase interaction also. So this is very, very important, because when we go to any kind of shop for the first time, and when you're going to make a purchase, it is our satisfaction which is going to drive that particular business, or drive that particular firm for the next future trends. So we need to go for going back to the shop, okay, because they are given a quality product. So obviously the post-purchase interaction is very, very important. Okay, so this particular process is completely going to deal with that, the pre-purchase, purchase consummation, and post-purchase interaction. So these three things are very much involved in terms of the customers while they are going for determine on to what sort of product that I need to go for that they need to go for purchasing, and how does this purchase process is going to happen. Okay, as I told you, like each and every penny of their hard-earned money have to be given with the kind of assurity that it is satisfied in terms of quality of the product, as well as in terms of the proper documentation of the receipt of the payment. Okay, if you are going to do a payment and just think that receipt is not going to come at all, it is not going to deal anything related to giving the kind of acknowledgement that the payment is received, means then obviously consumer will be in a kind of panic mode. Okay, they'll be thinking like, okay, my money has gone, it has gone somewhere. I cannot go and blame onto anyone, because it's all happening over the internet platform, and the person who is going to run the business is not being known at all. Okay, it's all going to happen through the intermediary platform. So you cannot contact that seller directly. You cannot go for contacting the seller. So definitely you have to get the kind of assurity that after making the payment, a proper receipt is being generated from the concerned authorities. And the post-purchase, as I told you, like it's pretty much important in determining down to the quality of the given product. So when you look out into the model, we have got something similar given here. It is a kind of diagrammatic way of explaining how does this model is going to function upon. So there is a product or a service search and discovery in the information space, and a comparison shopping and product selection based on various attributes, negotiation of terms, exam price, delivery items. So all these three things comes under pre-purchase determination. Okay, as I told you, pre-purchase is something called, we call it as a research. Okay, we used to conduct a research onto the product what we are going for doing the purchase, and the placement of order, authorization of payment, and receipt of product, which we call it as purchase consummation. Consummation is different activities are involved, and we like to put everything into one particular summarized form of existence. And customer service and support, we can go for not only in terms of returning the product back. Okay, if they are not satisfied with the product, it's not going to concern not only based on returning the product back, having that happiness shared with us. Okay, if they are going to buy a quality product. When they're going to tell like, sir, I'm totally happy with the kind of service what you gave to me and the kind of product what I got, obviously I'll be go for giving the 5-star rating and I'll give my comments over there. Okay, so these and all are going to increase the business or the sales over that particular product, and obviously you being a consumer, you are going to have a kind of good relation with that particular the platform in which you are going to do the purchase. Okay, so obviously every purchase requires this kind of support, this kind of feedback mechanism, which will definitely ensure other buyers to take a decision. Okay, it's all like who has got the experience over using the particular product are the right people to give the kind of feedback about the product, which will help for the others to go for purchasing a product. Okay, so that is what discussed over here, like pre-purchase preparation. In general, consumers can be categorized as, you know very well, like impulsive buyers, patient buyers, analytical buyers. It's all us only. Okay, they are just categorizing into different names. Okay, impulsive buyers, patient buyers, and analytical buyers. So impulsive buyers means some people who just goes and select the product. They won't be negotiating onto the product. They won't go for thinking about is this the right product or not? Is this the quality product that I'm looking out for and all? They'll just go and make the purchase, like window shoppers. Okay, they won't completely research onto the product or thoroughly analyze the product, because they might have done already, might have. Okay, we have to take it in a what to tell trustable way, like they have done enough amount of research onto the product, they decided onto the product, they don't have any second thought onto that, so directly they go and make the purchase. And another set of product people are called patient buyers. They purchase the product after making some comparisons. Okay, not only they have done the research onto the product, not only they have the requirement onto the product, not only they have the study onto the product, they do comparison over the product also. Okay, what is this example, mobile phones, and when we go for purchasing a mobile phone, we obviously go for doing many number of comparisons. We used to compare with the brands, we used to compare with the processor capacity, we used to compare with the RAM, we used to compare the hard disk, the kind of display what it is going to give. So n number of examples you can take with respect to that. And analytical buyers are nothing but the people who are substantial research before making the decision to purchase products or services. So substantial research means they do a thorough research over the product. Okay, before going for purchasing onto the product. When you look out into these three kind of products, impulsive buyers do go for purchasing a product a lot. Okay, when you're just asking like, sir, how many number of years those people are going to use a mobile phone? Say for example, means maximum 1 year. Okay, not even 1 year, even less than that also, because any new product comes, means immediately they'll go for buying that. Okay, but this analytical buyers, as you can see, like they want to go for investing a lot. Okay, once they buy means that used to be the best product. I'm not telling impulsive buyers are not going to get the best products, but comparatively, since these people have done a complete research onto the product, okay, that is what the kind of comments or the feedbacks what these people are going to make will be of greater help for the impulsive buyers. Okay, so these three categories of people are existing, and most retailing sectors, impulsive unplanned purchasing is a major factor. Okay. And marketing researchers have isolated several types of purchasing, like specially planned purchase, generally planned purchase, remainder purchases, entirely unplanned purchases. Even this kind of purchases also used to happen. Specially planned purchase, like the need for was recognized on entering the store and shopper bought the exact item planned. Okay, the need for, when we are telling about the people who go for purchasing means they know that for what they are going to the shop. Okay, and they know like what sort of product they need to go for purchasing. Okay, so they won't have any kind of second thought onto that. They'll go according to the plan and they'll do the shopping and come back. And when you look out to the generally planned purchase means the need was known, okay, but they decide on to which store and the manufacturer of the item. Okay, so they will decide. They won't just go and do immediate purchase. They'll just go for what to tell. They'll decide on to which shop to go for, and what sort of manufacturer who has made this particular product. Based upon that, they'll make the purchase. When you look out into the remainder purchases means the person who is going to make the shopping, he will be reminded. Okay, he will be reminded of making this particular purchase to happen. So they are not much bothered about making the purchases and all. Okay, until others it is reminded by someone or through some media or through some messages to your mobile, to their mobile, etc., etc. So they are called remainder purchases. And entirely unplanned purchases was need was not recognized at all. Okay, till they enter the store, enter that particular store, and after seeing the product, immediately a need may come. Okay, they may think like, okay, let it be there. Let me go for taking it up. Let me go for buying it up, and I'll just keep it at home. Whenever the need requires, a need arises, I'll go for using it. Otherwise, I'll be just going for recognizing the need only after going to the shop. Okay, before to that, I don't have any plan to do this purchase at all. Okay, so these are all the different types of purchasings what people used to go for making. Okay, and when you are looking at the consumer information search process, as I told you, like information search is very, very vital for any kind of this online platform. So information search is defined as a degree of care, perception, and effort directed towards obtaining data information related to the decision problem. So here, artificial intelligence, algorithms play a vital role. Data analysis techniques play a vital role. Okay, because what is going to be pushed to us in the front is the one which will be noted by the people a lot. Okay, because like best things comes first. The one based upon the popularity or which is of cheaper cost. This kind of things only used to get displayed as a result of our search process. Okay, so that has to be given with the kind of care when anyone is going to make their purchases to happen. Okay, so information search can be classified as organizational and consumer search. So organization search is viewed as a process through which an organization adapts to such changes in its external environment as new suppliers, new products, and new services. Okay, organizations try to come out as something new. Am I clear? They need to just they have to get themselves adapted to the situation. Okay, even a simple example I can give, like iPhone. They are trying to adapt to the kind of existing competition as well as the situation that is arising. Okay, it is not something like the way how they were and the way how they are right now. They are changed a lot. Okay, but without giving their standards, without giving up their quality, without giving up their name and fame, they are trying to do this to the maximum possible extent. Okay, so I need not to tell about I need not to make a comparisons like what iPhone has done in order to come pretty much closer to the user category level and all, because they might have reduced the product cost of the product, or they might have given some new features into the product which might be of unique type. But when you look out into the generalization category of the information content related to that new input into their product, it might have been the one which is existing in Android mobile phones or any other mobile phones. Am I clear? A simple example, if you want, I can give like a kind of pen drive support. Okay, or kind of any external platform support. Earlier and all, we cannot go for doing it. So they try to include those applications and all into their app store. Okay, so in a way, they are not giving up their app store, and they are trying to add up the external applications also. Okay, so these things can be taken as an example for this. And this organization search process is determined in part by market characteristics and by certain aspects of a firm's present buying situation. Okay, the buying environment or the buying situation is pretty much important over here. And the rate of information change in the marketplace imposes additional demands on a firm's search process. Okay, so this is completely related to the organization when they are going to be involved in terms of a search activity. And when it comes to the information brokers and brokerages, to facilitate the better consumer organization search, intermediaries called information brokers or brokerages are going to come into the existence. Okay, so when you are looking into information brokers and brokerage services, means these are the people who collect the information. Okay, and they give it to the organizations. So what for? The organization has to promote their product. Organization have to identify their customers. Organizations have to market their product. Organizations has to go for identifying who are all the best pick out of the existing set of people whom they doesn't know. Existing consumers, no issues. Okay, anyhow, because of the quality what the organizations are going to give, they will definitely come and buy the product. But what about a set of people who are not at all my consumer at all, who haven't come to my shop at all? So they need to be identified, and they have to be properly given with the kind of the information related to what I am doing as a business over there. Okay, coming or not, that is secondary. Okay, they should know about me. Who knows that anytime the need may come. Okay, at that time they should not go and search, or they should not go to the second shop or somewhere. They have to come to me. Okay, so that particular guarantee we are going to make it as a result of this information brokers. And they are needed for three reasons, like compassion shopping, reduce search cost, and integration. And information formerly found at more or less the same high prices, and all the online database search services can sometimes be found at other service bureaus at minutes fractions of those charges. So even information related to the products are also going to come to the consumers through these information broker services. Okay, in both the perspective, we can think about this. And when it goes to the purchase consummation, as I already told, like a mercantile transaction is defined as an exchange of information between buyer and seller, followed by the necessary payment. So once, not only after the payment, even before to the payment also, information happens, but it is going to happen through one end, because already as a merchant, I had given whatever kind of information that is required for the product, and the consumers are going to look out into the product, and it's up to them to decide whether to purchase the product or not. Okay, so when they are going to do that particular products purchase, they need to go for doing the payment. So after making the payment, only whatever the kind of information that is going to get exchanged between the buyer and the seller is very, very crucial. Okay, as I told you, like they should get a proper authentication for their payment, and they should be given with the kind of information related to the product when it is going to come to them. Okay, what sort of actual transaction is involved in terms of sending the product to them. The supply chain, as I told you, know that how it is going to work out over there. Okay, so that steps are given over here. You can just have a look out into that. Buyer contacts vendor to purchase product or service. Vendor states the price. Buyer and vendor may or may not engage in negotiation. If satisfied, buyers authorize payments to the vendors with an encrypted transaction containing a digital signature for the agreed price. Okay, so you have to completely think that this is going to happen in an online platform. Okay, not on offline platform. If it is going to happen in offline platform also, it can happen through any of the medium only. That is through the telephone or message or anything like that. Okay, and when it comes to the vendor contacts, after that, the continuous process, the vendor contacts the billing service. Okay, and billing service decreases authorization and checks buyer's account, and billing service gives the vendor the green light to deliver the product, and on notification of adequate funds to cover financial transaction, vendor delivers the goods to buyer, or in the case of information purchase, provides a crypto key to unlock the file. On receiving the goods, the buyer signs and delivers the receipt. Vendors then tells billing service to complete the transaction. At the end of the billing cycle, buyer receives list of transactions. Buyer can either deny transaction, certain transactions, or complain about over billing. Okay, so this is a complete set of activities involved in terms of making this purchase to happen. Okay, this is what we call it as a consummation. This many number of steps are involved into that. Okay, and when it goes to the online mercantile model, this is the kind of diagram which depicts the process. Customer with the need, he is going to interact with the merchant, and the merchant is going to interact with the payment institution. Once, so this is a conclusive part of everything. Okay, he goes to the merchant, and he's just ensuring that I want this product. I'm going for ordering for the product, and I'm going to do the payment. And in turn, the merchant goes to the payment institution. These are nothing but the banks. Okay, and the banks in turn, they come back to the merchant. They're telling like, okay, this payment is authenticated. You can go for making that particular delivery to happen. Okay, and merchant goes back to the consumer, is going to make the delivery, and the payment institution is going to directly debit the amount from the consumer's account. Okay, so this is the actual process involved, which are shown in terms of the numbering factor over here: buy request, remittance request, delivery, approval, and the monthly statement. So what is actual monthly statement is nothing but the complete transactions that has happened over the entire month. Okay, and when it comes to how does the payment is going to happen means, you know very well, like through eCash, it's going to happen, and this is the process involved in terms of that eCash transaction. Okay, buyer contacts seller to purchase the product, seller states price, buyer sends eCash to the seller, seller contacts his bank or billing service to verify the validity of the eCash. Bank gives okay signal to seller after ensuring that the eCash hasn't been duplicated or spent as other products. Seller delivers the product to buyer. Seller then tells the bank to mark the eCash as used currency. Okay, so it all happens through our software platform, or a software which is developed as a product over there. So behind the scenes, entire transaction is going to happen. So as a user, we should be very careful, like not to put any kind of break in between. If you are going to put a break in between, like connection loss or any kind of functionalities are being given onto the product that is given onto the website, means automatically the transaction will decline. Okay, so it's a complete chain of process. Am I clear? So somewhere, what will things have to be going pretty much serious. Okay, so what is that seriousness is all about means when somebody is going to make a payment. Okay, so this is the actual process involved into that. And when you are going to use a credit card, the corresponding activities are going to happen with the way how it has been listed over here. Okay, so two major components comprise credit card transactions, like in the market, electronic authorization and settlement. So credit card, you know very well, like the bank issues a credit card after getting the credentials of the user, after conducting a thorough check over the background related to their profession, related to their family background, related to their number of amount of credits which are outstanding, etc., etc. So based upon that, they'll fix the amount for that particular person and give that credit card to them, and they can go for using the credit card for 30 days of time, and 50 days, after 50 days, they need to go for making a payment over there. So when it comes to a credit card purchase, what are steps actually involved is listed over here, like customer presents a credit card for payment on a retail location or over the internet platform also. The POS system scans that information and it directs the transaction to the local network access point. Okay, and from the network, the system verifies the source of the transaction, routes it to the appropriate authorization source where the cardholder's account record is reviewed, and authorization code is then sent back to the network for display on the POS device. So that authorization code is a unique code which will be generated, and this particular closeout transaction that bundles completed transaction information into a batch. The system gathers all completed batches and processes the data in preparation for settlement. Okay, so these are the activities involved during a credit card transaction, and the pricing of electronic transaction services provided by TPP to merchant clients takes one of two forms. The first form, we are going for a flat fee will be charged over there, and other form of billing is going to be done as a bundled price for authorization. And the post-purchase interaction is nothing but as long as there is a payment for services, there will be refunds, disputes, and other customer services. This is what I was stressing so far, like that any kind of online digital transaction, if at all we are going to make, we should ensure that the so-called particular transaction is not going to get a break or any kind of termination in between. Okay, so otherwise the refund has to be initiated, and the refund, when it is going to get initiated, it won't come immediately to our account. It will take its own time, maybe 3 days or 7 days after, depending upon the bank in which we are holding an account or we are taking a credit card. And returns and claims are also an important part over here. Like the person is not happy with the product, means he will be going for returning the product back to that particular merchant itself. So how does the return is going to happen? And that obviously will take up of some amount of loss for these companies. As you know very well, like Flipkart, they have been they told like almost we have lost 1,500 crores before 5 years or 6 years. They told in this way. Okay, our loss is 1,500 crores or 2,000 crores, like they went on. The main reason is this kind of returns and this kind of lots of additional expenses are involved into this. Okay, it's a huge network. It's a huge network. It's a huge set of processes, huge set of supply chain management is involved. Many number of human are involved into this. People are involved. Many number of storage units are involved. Many number of distribution points are involved, and of course. Many number of customers are involved. India is the best customer base for any kind of products to get sold or products to get marketed over here. To do the business, this is the best place, you know very well. Okay, so obviously what we are looking out into is like 1 or 2 transactions only, because that is what the maximum thing that we will do from our end, as well as from our friends or relatives. It will be very, very little. Okay, so compared to that 130 crores of people, out of this, at least some 20 crores or 30 crores of people are going to do this kind of transaction, means just think about how much of activities are involved into this. Okay, so that is what the post-purchase interaction is very, very important. Other challenges that may arise are the inventory issues, database and compatibility issues, and customer service issues. So if the item should be in stock, you know what is the importance of inventory for any kind of organizations. you used to get the messages like only one product left, two products left. Of course, it is a kind of gimmicks what these Starlink sellers used to do for creating the demand onto the product. But sometimes we may get a message like the product is out of stock. Okay, especially in terms of any new mobiles, if at all they are going to be launched, or any kind of new electronic products when it is going to be launched, we see the kind of sales that happens for that particular product within seconds. Okay, not even minutes, it will happen. It will happen within seconds. So there is a kind of glitch what these companies used to make in order to boost the product sales of their product. Okay, so they'll create the demand. So always the human mind is something like they want that thing which is not available to them. Some way or other they'll be looking out for attaining it. Okay, so that is what we call as inventory issues and database and comparability issues. Like user can be able to access instant information from the vendor computers. Okay, so how to what extent they can go for getting the information. Okay, getting the information from their database. You know very well, like cloud servers are involved, and whenever I'm going to make a request, it should immediately respond to my request in a way how I want it. Okay, it should not be delayed over there. When it gets a delay, means automatically I'll be like pissed off and I'll just go to the next platform. Okay, so that particular issues has to be properly addressed, and service issues has to be properly addressed. As far as I know, like the main success of Amazon and Flipkart and all, they give very good customer service management. You know, like some Snapdeal or this kind of people are there, but depending up comparatively to this Amazon and Flipkart, their customer service base is very poor. We should say that. We should accept that also. Okay, so this is what we have got for this particular class, for this particular session. Hope you may have got an understanding of it, and kindly ensure that even when we are going for um, uh, so thank you very much for the patient listening. We'll go for the next topic in the next class.